first game between them panned out. We have Nikki Riga, who is a well-known content creator and marketing personality in the world of chess. She makes a wonderful content and she makes the first move. We all know how the first game between them ended. Gukesh won it after Pragg was doing really well in that game. But now let's focus here. Gukesh opens the game with pawn to d4 and Pragg goes knight to f6. Games between Pragg and Gukesh are like the most exciting to follow in the world of chess, I feel. There's just no way they are going to play calm chess. They're going to go all out against each other. Both believe that they can beat the other player. e6, and will Gukesh go knight f3? He goes knight c3. And now many of the games have continued with d5, but Pragg says, I'll play the Nimzo Indian. Nimzo Indian is much more interesting than the Queen's Gambit declined. a3 played. He takes and b takes c3, and this is the point of the Nimzo Indian. White gets the bishop pair, black gets double pawns for his opponent, and we'll see who's better. b6. The idea is to get the bishop to a6, knight c6, knight a5, and put pressure here. Gukesh is building up the center. It's a battle of imbalances. Lovely position to actually understand how imbalances in chess work. Knight c6, and boom, e4 played by Gukesh. Pragg starts to think a bit. He goes knight a5, putting pressure here. And many times if white goes e5, you're ready to jump back to even g8. Bishop goes to d3. I mean, the other possible moves in this position instead of bishop d3 are bishop g5, e5. So bishop d3, bishop a6, and he plays queen e2 to defend the pawn on c4. And now Pragg goes c5. The point is to go rook c8 and quickly put pressure on c4. And this opening knight h3 has been played in the game between Nodirbek Abdusattorov and Wei Yi from Tata Steel 2025. Pragg takes, c takes d4, because if you went rook c8 now, then e5, and there's still some time, to attack the c4 pawn. But if you take on d4, then now rook c8 would be very strong. In fact, there's also possibility to play knight b3 here, which I'm pretty sure is a sharp line and must be checked. e5, Gukesh says, what are you going to do about your knight? Because knight g8 is kind of forced. He plays it. And now he's going to bring the knight from e7 into the game. And Gukesh does not even care for this pawn nor for knight b3. He's coming knight e4 and knight d6. So imagine that you go and take this, then knight e4, and white is already better. So Pragg finds this beautiful move over the board, f5. He took roughly 6 minutes, and g4. What? Wow. By the way, just so that you know, instead of f5, d5 was played in that Wei Yi game. But now knight b3, things heating up. Gukesh goes g4, which the engines do not like, but humanly can be very dangerous. He goes bishop b2, defending the central pawn. Essentially, Gukesh is saying that for me, this structure means a lot more than this rook. I'm giving up that rook to attack your king. He takes on a1, Pragg. He's confident and he's like, okay, Gukesh, prove your compensation here. Gukesh takes and he's coming in knight e4, knight d6 check. ef5 is possible, but then you take bishop a1, so knight to b3. He comes in knight to b3, and now rook g1. He puts pressure on g7, and the best move here is somehow b5 with the idea of queen a5 and knight d2, but Pragg goes knight h6, giving Gukesh some chances with f6. He pushes forward, pawn to f6. And now if g takes f6, the knight jumps into e4, attacking f6 and d6 square. He goes in, and the position gets even sharper. Pragg takes it, takes the pawn Okay, knight d6 check is a must, otherwise queen h4 is coming. And he plays it. If you go king e7, rook g7, and this is a brutal checkmate. So he goes king f8. Good move. And now queen e5 is what Gukesh has to play. He takes the pawn, attacks the rook in the corner of the board. Imagine all of this is happening with Gukesh being a rook down. But he's just saying that these two pieces are out of play. So I have my compensation. Check. King d1, a must. He must go here. He plays it. Good or bad? I mean, Gukesh's position still playable. Rook g8, controlling these squares, saving the rook. He takes on g8. Knight takes is forced. If you take with the king, I push d5 and it's mate. So knight g8, and now if you go d5, then queen h6 and there is pressure. So first takes the rook. So now you are simply a piece down, not a rook down. Pragg comes back, takes on c8, and Gukesh plays this wonderful move, king c2, attacking the knight. The knight has to move and now pushes d5 very quickly, threatening queen g7. So the only move now is queen h6 to keep the advantage for Pragg, and he finds it. Queen h6 on the board. And Gukesh now, he plays king b1 very quickly in like 1 minute. The better moves were bishop c3 and bishop c1, and the fight still continued. In fact, it was a very interesting position, but now he's completely miscalculated that e takes d5 is winning for Praggnanandhaa. The point is e takes, c takes, which is what Pragg does now. And then d6 with the support of the queen is game over, because d6, bishop comes out, knight joins in, and this is exactly what Gukesh didn't want. Because bishop c3 in that position would have also created chances this way. That's a bit unfortunate for Gukesh, that I think he had just this lapse in concentration, and Praggnanandhaa was just so accurate. He goes knight b7 and he knows that he's winning now. Bishop c1, 3 minutes for Gukesh. Queen g7, queen goes to h4. He's trying for some tricks. If the knight moves, there is bishop h6, but queen f7. Pragg is having none of that. He's attacking the d5 pawn. He's also preparing bishop to f5. So the bishop goes to a6. And Gukesh looks at the screen. He has to still make 8 more moves in 1 minute 50 seconds. He goes king a2, because any other move would be queen f6 check and you trade queens. Queen takes d5, bishop c4 blocking the check. And now just queen f5 with the idea of a check coming in, and Pragg is not just a piece up, he's also a pawn up. Gukesh resigns, Praggnanandhaa wins. It was like Gukesh came with everything he had got against Praggnanandhaa, but Pragg was such an amazing defender. Kind of reminded us of the games between Tal and Korchnoi, because Tal was like an attacker and Korchnoi was incredible defender, and Tal could never ever beat Korchnoi in his career because he just defended so well. And that game was a bit similar. Gukesh, well, he has that kind of smile on his face because I think he just played like a very romantic chess today. For Praggnanandhaa now, it's a huge chance to win Norway chess, because he's in the lead. He's on 15 points in this tournament, and not in the lead, he's half a point behind the leader, but so close. And tomorrow he takes on Vincent Keimer. We have the interview with Pragg on our channel. You can